You're listening to Scotty and Andrew, and this is Fun with Horror.
That wasn't nearly as funny.
I liked it though. It was weird.
You didn't like it as much as last week.
Well, last week I was anticipating this one, I think, but I did like the name Slauson in there.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Scotty.
Welcome to episode 6.
Episode 6, man! Holy moly! Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Which does remind me, I want to start out by saying thank you very much to everybody who's been listening, because it's been quite a week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's been a lot. Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
The main thing is that a few days ago we hit, it's again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge amount, but to us it's a huge amount. We hit 150 downloads of our podcast across the 3 sources that we have it up on.
That's awesome.
And what's even better is that a full third of those listens, 50, happened the week before we hit 150.
Jeez.
So like within 7 or 8 days, we had 50 listens over the 5 episodes that we have out right now before this one. And that's just, it's awesome.
It's so cool, man. I really can't believe we hit that. That's so awesome. I love it.
And of course, a tiny little thank you if he's listening. We had David Charbonnier, one of the 2 directors of The Boy Behind the Door, listen to our episode last week.
Woo!
Which is awesome.
It's so cool. I can't believe it's so cool. The director, man. The director.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, David, thank you for listening if you're out there, and thank you for leaving us a little comment on our Instagram.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's just awesome, man. How are you?
How's good.
Everything going with you?
Everything's great, man. Yeah, like you said, it's just been a kind of a what a cool week. Just one thing after another. Just a lot of really great people, I feel like, in our lives have been very kind with this podcast. And thanks to you, we now have a Facebook.
Hey,
which is sweet.
Facebook page, Fun with Horror. And it's public, so anybody can join the Facebook page if you guys are out there listening and you want to jump it on. What the heck? If you want to jump it on.
Jump it on.
Jump it on that Facebook page. If you want to jump on the Facebook page, go ahead. Go out there and say hello.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, we'll be able to use that to take requests.
Absolutely.
And that's another kind of nerdy thing that Andrew and I talked about this past week, how we are going to handle requests. Because, Andrew, you and I, we like the surprise of not knowing what the other person is going to pick, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It makes it so fun.
So we decided that if we get requests from you guys, what's going to happen is Andrew and I both have our own little personal movie lists that we're choosing from every week. And we decided that any request will go in both of our lists.
Yep.
And that way we both have that movie to pick from, as well as the other movies we want to watch. So at some point, it may not be right away, but at some point, we will probably get to the requests that you guys want us to talk about, especially if one of us really wants to see that movie and talk about it,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a nerdy little rule, but
no, and
something
I like it,
we decided to do.
Yeah, and it still keeps it a surprise for both of us, because we don't know when that movie's going to be said.
And I love surprises.
Me too.
I really do, though. Like, for me, anticipation is a huge, huge bonus in my life. I don't shake presents before Christmas. I like the anticipation, the build up of opening something or watching something for the first time. And
well, and that's you too, like you said, watching something. I mean, even with trailers, you rarely watch a trailer because you
Yeah,
enjoy that
I might
surprise.
watch a teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to horror movies, I hardly ever watch a full trailer. I like to watch a trailer and then I get an idea of what the movie is,
Mm-hmm.
and then I turn the trailer off when it starts to show too much.
Nice. I love that. I think that's a great. I wish I was better at that, but because I love that idea and I wish I just wish I was better at it because I'll sit there and I'll get too invested in the trailer and have to finish it. And I don't have
That's
that
fine.
motivation that you do.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that's kind of somewhat of a blessing because, I mean, if if you're not as bothered by spoilers as I am, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you get to enjoy that trailer, and I mean, for me, if I see things in a movie in a trailer, like I'm really good at figuring some stuff out, unless it's a really good trailer that purposefully misdirects you.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, when I'm in a movie theater, I'm the guy that sits there and looks down at my lap. I mean, I'll listen to the trailer, but yeah, I don't watch it. I just sit there and look into my lap and just kind of, I play with my shirt cuff or whatever.
There was one trailer. I don't know if you've ever seen Dream House, and I won't say anything, but the trailer itself spoiled the entire movie.
Oh my goodness.
And it was one of those things where I went, okay, when I went to go see it, I was like, that trailer was awesome. Like this movie's gonna have way more, but nope, nope. Trailer told it all.
Yeah, no. I mean, my favorite one that I always talk about is and I won't talk about why, but I mean, Captain America Civil War.
Ooh,
Like
yep,
that trailer, it
yeah.
showed too much, and like I guess the money shot of the trailer
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking
really
about.
gave away one tiny little plot point, but it wasn't tiny. It was kind of a big plot point. It kind of gave away something that was going to happen in the movie, and I was like, I didn't need to see that. So,
Yep.
especially with movies that I know I'm going to see, I just don't watch the trailer. I skip them.
Yep. I think it's smart. I think it's the smart way to do it.
But back to horror movies, Andrew.
Yes.
One other thing I wanted to mention that I just had a little epiphany last night.
Ooh, let me hear.
Well, you and I have talked about how horror movies give us a certain sense of comfort, right?
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, I realized that when a horror movie is an adaptation, even if it's a bad adaptation
Mm-hmm.
of a Stephen King story,
Yeah.
I get an extra layer of comfort. And I realized that this past week watching John Carpenter's Christine.
All right.
You've seen it, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. I've seen Christine.
Yeah. Yeah, Christine, I think I saw it like once back in the day, and then last year I watched it again and I was like, man, that's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then this past week I was listening to the soundtrack and I decided I wanted to watch it again, and man, I love that movie. It's just it gets better every time I see it. And and then, after that, I put on Pet Cemetery, and I put on the remake because I actually enjoyed the remake.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. But just putting on another Stephen King adaptation, just I don't know, it just made me feel all warm inside.
Well, and so my question, because I do love Stephen King movies, but my thought, I guess, would be: do you think it's because you are a big Stephen King fan? You've read many of his books. Do you think that's
Yeah,
part of it, just
that's
because you are such a
that's I
fan?
mean that's almost full all of it. Like
Okay.
that's why Stephen King is, you know, far and away my favorite author,
Mm-hmm.
and I've read all of his books, all of his main Stephen King novels.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, I love adaptations of his work. Even when I'm disappointed, I'm glad they exist.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they are fun.
So
I'm with you. Like there are some that are not as great, but they're still a blast. They're all
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Um, we'll have to really get into Stephen King adaptations some episode.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I feel like you could do. Well, I mean, we could do a full episode of
Yeah,
that. I
we
mean,
both could. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
I mean,
full
you've seen
episode.
Children of the Corn more recently than I have,
Yeah, I
right? So,
have.
I mean, we could both talk about Stephen King adaptations.
For sure, that'd be a fun episode, man.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But now I think we should get into our movie of the
ooh,
week.
ooh. Let's do it.
So, Alexa, tell me about the movie The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is a 2021 horror film starring Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, and Rory O'Connor. The Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession.
Ooh.
The film is 1 hour and 52 minutes long. The movie has a rating of 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb based on around 82,000 votes,
Oh.
and is rated R.
Rated R.
All right, Alexa, stop.
That was a good little. Wow, that was a pretty good little spiel.
Right? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So before we start talking about this movie, bless you, we have to warn you, as always, that this is our movie of the week, and we are going to spoil this movie. We're going to talk in depth about it. Maybe not in depth, but we're going to talk about it, and we're
Yeah.
going to spoil it. And just to let you know, we do know this is a part of the overall Conjuring universe, and we will try our best not to spoil any of the other movies. In fact, we won't spoil any of the other Conjuring movies.
Yep.
So there you go. And
Perfect.
without further ado, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Scary.
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
So that being said,
Yes.
Scotty, this was your pick, man.
It was.
This was your baby. So I want to know, what did you think of The Conjuring? The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, man. Okay, so
It's a
I
loaded
was
question.
excited. It's well, yeah. Is it loaded?
I don't know.
You just wanted to say that.
I did.
So yeah, I was excited to watch this. I am a fan of the Conjuring universe.
Hmm.
I think there's only one movie that I didn't care for, and that was Annabelle Comes Home. The rest of them, even The Nun, I actually liked to certain degrees.
Okay.
So The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, I'm a little torn on,
Okay.
just to start off right there.
Okay.
I liked it, didn't fully love it,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess we can get into why that is. So, first of all, kudos to the beginning of the movie, right?
Oh, for
The
sure.
movie starts off with the biggest bang.
Yeah.
I mean, you go straight into the exorcism of an 8-year-old boy.
Yes.
And it's such a good scene. And I want to start, first of all, by recognizing the very blatant Exorcist homage,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
which the director, he was very, very purposefully put that in. And then you just have this amazing, intense scene where they have the little boy on a table, and the priest is performing the exorcism with the Warrens standing next to the table as well, and stuff starts to happen. And I don't know if you saw this too, Andrew, but when that happens, obviously we see the boy like being contorted into like just awful shapes
Yeah.
and stuff. That was a real person.
What?
They hired a contortionist to play the part of the little boy, and then they digitally put the boy's face on her.
Oh, crazy.
And so she was like, when the boy does that bending stand up onto the
Yeah.
table,
Yes.
that was real. That wasn't special effects. That was a real person doing that.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So yeah, that was amazing. So okay, so that scene was great. That was classic Conjuring. And then we get into the meat of the story. The little boy's sister's boyfriend, which I was lost on, and I'm going to say that against the movie. I was a little bit lost on the relationship of some of the characters. I thought that Arnie was the little boy's older brother at first,
Ah, okay.
but that may just be me being dense. But yeah, Arnie played by Rory O'Connor, who Alexa mentioned. Stop, Alexa. He takes the demon from the boy into him. And that's what the rest of the movie is about.
Right.
And the movie is based on a true story, which is even more crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what I do love that about the Conjuring movies. Because there's a real story about this guy, Arnie, who stabbed this person he worked with,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Warrens got in on it, and they tried to get him off by saying reason of demonic possession.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So that was very interesting to me. And I would have been fine if they had explored that with some of the demonic possession thrown in. But here's where I start to question the movie, because it becomes a movie about, I don't want to say voodoo, but
Right.
curses
Yeah.
and stuff. You have a
Witchcraft.
character named the occultist
Mm-hmm.
who is leaving these little totems under people's houses. And that is calling this demon to possess these people and to make them do certain things. And obviously that's not part of the true story,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No.
The true story is just the trial of Arnie. What was his last name? Arnie Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So first of all, I don't know. I'm just so torn on this because I applaud them for trying to go in a slightly different direction,
Mm-hmm.
but the execution of that direction I don't think was perfect. I don't think it was great. I kind of, when it at the last act of the movie is this whole cat and mouse chase with the Warrens and the occultist in these underground tunnels under a house. And when it got to that, I kind of, I just kind of lost interest.
I get it. No, I totally understand that.
That said, I still enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it twice last week. I watched it for the first time, and then I watched it again. And I guess what really struck me in this movie was the look and the cinematography of the entire movie. I thought was so well done.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, tell me what you thought.
Well, I agree with you. That first, maybe 20 minutes, I was in it. I was like, this is a Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
It's okay that James Wan isn't directing this. I'm like, this, Michael Chaves is doing great. This is awesome.
And let me pause there.
Yeah, go
because
for it. Yeah.
I was worried about that because
Me too.
as I think we mentioned last week, but we'll mention it again now. Michael Chaves directed The Curse of La Llorona, which there has been back and forth as to whether that really is part of the Conjuring universe movies.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be like an offshoot of it, but more recently it's come out that it is not officially part of the Conjuring canon.
Interesting.
So That movie was not well received, and that may be why.
Right. Yeah.
However, again, I didn't dislike, excuse me, I did not dislike The Curse of La Llorona. I thought it was a fun movie that unfortunately resorted to cheap jump scares
Mm-hmm.
for its scariness, but the story itself I was enjoying. But still, that made me a little bit worried about The Conjuring because James Wan, he's kind of a master at these
Really
movies.
is. Yeah.
So when he was passing off to the director of one of the less well-received movies,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of people were a little bit worried.
Yeah.
But as I do when I go into a movie, I went in with an open mind. So please continue as what you were saying.
Well, no, and yeah, agreed. I was worried too, just because James Wan, like you said, I mean, he's a master. He knows what he's doing, and he's great at it. But I'm with you as well. Right when we start getting more into like kind of the witchcraft or like the voodoo or whatever she's doing.
Yeah, I'd say let's call it witchcraft for sure.
Yeah, witchcraft. I'm with you. Like I would have really, I think I would have had more fun if they had done more of the trial type of stuff, or just more about Arnie, where it was what happened to him, and explored that a little bit more
Yeah.
during this trial. But like you said, I mean, we get the witchcraft and we get her story, which is, I mean, I don't know. It felt very different than a Conjuring movie, I guess.
Definitely. The second half did.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
And
yeah.
again, on one hand, I wanted to applaud that because we don't want to just repeat Conjuring 1 and 2.
Right.
But at the same time, Now, let me ask you this, because this is one of my biggest faults with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The why of everything wasn't super clear, and this was after watching it twice.
Yes.
Like, the main question is, why is she doing it to these people? Why is she doing this? And she wants to do this. Okay, so this is what I understood. She wanted to do this to give her soul to Satan. Right?
I guess.
And the whole thing with it is that she was supposed to curse 3 different people.
Right.
To give her soul to Satan. Or something like that.
Yeah.
See, again, not clear.
Agreed.
And I can't say that's a great thing about the movie. I could probably look it up, but I haven't yet because I just wanted to talk to you about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be like a murder, a suicide, and then I don't even remember what the third thing is supposed to be. It's just a person of faith.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember it was 3 things though. You're right.
So the murder, why did she possess a little boy? Was he supposed to murder somebody? I guess because I guess he did stab his dad at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then the demon goes into Arnie. So Arnie is now the murderer, and Arnie did the murder.
Right.
Okay, so murder. Done.
Yep.
Check 1. Check 2 is a suicide. What the crap, man? Like, she went to... Wouldn't possessing somebody to commit suicide be a lot easier than what she did?
I think so.
Like, again, Arnie. Arnie was supposed to kill himself, but I don't know. It wasn't made clear why it took so long. And you finally get to this scene where Arnie is put into this isolated hold in this prison that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And the prison priest gives him a little bottle of holy water, which immediately I was like, why are you giving him something? He's under suicide watch and you're giving him glass that he can break.
Yeah, exactly.
With, by the way, a seemingly endless amount of holy water. Like, that circle of holy water that he puts around himself, I was like, wow, that is a lot of water that was in that tiny little bottle. Oh, boy. But then, yeah, he breaks the glass, or the occultist has him break the glass.
Right.
And at this point, like, seriously, what's going on? Is she controlling the demon who's controlling Arnie?
Good question.
Or is she controlling Arnie? Because it looked like she was the one controlling Arnie.
Yeah, because she holds her hands up the same way he does.
Yeah.
But again, how?
And where's the demon in all this?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we finally get to that, and it's an attempted suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, oh, wait. Man, I am so wrong. See, now I'm thinking about the movie while I'm talking about it. The murder was not Arnie killing the guy. The murder was the two girls. And that was the innocence. The girl killing.
You're
See,
right.
this,
Yeah.
but this makes it even more convoluted because the murder was the two girls.
Right.
And I'm sure some fan of the movie out there is yelling at me right now, yelling at their like earpods. Like, what? Are you stupid? It was the girls. Sorry. So it was the girls. The girl was cursed. She killed her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
That was the murder.
Right.
So again, then you get to the little boy. So now the little boy is supposed to commit suicide.
Well, wait, hold on. Because I thought you were right the first time, though, because...
No, I was wrong.
Well, remember, the girl kills the friend, and then she jumps off the ledge to kill herself.
Yeah, but then it still doesn't make sense, even if that's it. Because it's supposed to be an innocent... I forget what the second one is, and then the third person is supposed to be the person of faith.
Okay. Yeah.
So the innocence is the first girl.
Okay.
She kills the other girl. And then, but they even talk in the movie about Arnie being the suicide.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
why else
Yeah.
is Arnie sitting there trying to kill himself? Or why is she trying to get Arnie to kill himself?
Right.
But then, what was the whole purpose of having the little boy possessed? Because the little boy didn't seem to be trying to kill himself. He was just terrorized by a demon.
Right.
It's just...
Yeah, you're right.
The bottom line, it's a convoluted, disconnected plot.
Yep.
And that's
There
what
you go.
ultimately brought the movie down.
I agree.
But at the same time, I can still recognize... Like, I didn't not enjoy watching the movie.
Right.
And I'll probably watch it again at some point in the future because it's got some really great scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to try and figure out the whole triple thing. The triple possession thing. Triple curse.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's got to be there.
It's got to be there
It's got to be
somewhere.
there. There's a formula in there. We just got to find it.
So you're saying you agree with me?
No, I do. Yep. Yeah. There was... Yeah, I guess you said the right word. Convoluted. It just kind of got convoluted in there. And I feel like, again, had we just gone through the trial, it could have been just kind of a straight-through story. But yeah, there's just a lot of random stuff thrown in.
Yeah.
Which was kind of confusing.
But I guess, I mean, and let's talk about the good parts of the movie.
Yes, yeah.
What makes it not so bad is that you just have a great cast again. You bring back, or not you didn't bring back. Thank
I
you,
did.
Andrew, for bringing back the cast. Thank you.
I produced it. You're welcome.
You're like, hey, James Wan, bring back the cast.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, Andrew. But no, like, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga come back as the Warrens
Mm-hmm.
and almost seem like they're even a more central part of this movie than before. And you throw in a little subplot about the demon that was possessing the boy, almost giving Ed Warren a heart attack, so he's dealing with a weak heart the entire movie, which was a nice little... I mean, it was a little forced, but at the same time, it was a second area of concern.
Right. Yeah.
Or tension, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it added some...
Hyper tension,
There
you might
go.
say. Meh, meh, meh.
Wah, wah.
Podcast over.
Yeah. Episode 6, we did it. We did it.
Oh boy. And then you throw in, of all people, John Noble as Father Kastner. Oh my goodness, I was so
So good.
thrilled. I had no idea he was in the movie.
He's the best. I love that guy.
And then like there was some really good stuff. The waterbed scene was fun.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Did you like that?
I did. I love the waterbed scene actually. I have that written down as one of my favorite scenes. I thought was just creepy. So creepy.
Yeah, when he's laying on it and you see like the dead person inside the waterbed, I was like, nice.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna happen. Like,
of course, yeah.
But it was still pretty cool. But I will say about that waterbed scene, nitpicky here.
Uh-oh.
But oh man, if you watch that again, just watch that scene again, Andrew.
Okay.
It is so obvious when the camera is when the boy is kneeling on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when the camera's in front of him and you see his face, it's the little boy.
Right.
But when the camera goes behind him, oh my goodness, he grows. He becomes like a full-fledged, like at least a teenager, because like the person that they're showing from behind is much bigger than the little boy.
That's awesome.
And by the way, he was so cute.
He's a cute kid.
Julian Hilliard. Oh,
I know. I saw that.
oh, what?
Spelled differently, but yeah, I was like, all right, man.
Wow. Are you related?
Nope, spelled differently, but I'll take relation to that kid.
You might be, yeah. But that little kid is amazing. He was in The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh.
He was the cute little boy that was just painful to look at. He was so adorable.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a really good little actor.
And now he's going to be traumatized for the rest of his life from doing haunting and possession movies. Like,
yeah, he doesn't sleep much anymore.
It just amazes me when they bring back actors who played the same kind of part,
Right.
like young actors who do these traumatic movies and do them really well. Like, man, you're just setting him up for more trauma. Hey, we just got done, 10 episodes of scaring the hell out of you with ghosts. Now we're going to possess you, kid.
Hey, it's Hollywood. There are no rules.
It's
there.
Hollywood, kid.
Yeah. Get over it.
But he was great. He was wonderful.
Which, speaking of that waterbed scene, was I the only one that had a memory of Nightmare 3, The Dream Warriors? Where there's the waterbed scene. Oh, I did. I love that.
Wow, nice. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think I saw... So I looked up an article. I ran across an article of Easter eggs.
Uh-huh.
And there was an article that said that scene was probably an homage to that.
Sweet. Yes.
And I was thinking the Johnny Depp scene. I didn't really read the whole article. I was skimming. So when they mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street, I thought they were talking about Johnny Depp's scene in the first movie.
They could have been. But there's that scene in Dream Warriors where he lays on the waterbed, falls asleep, and he looks down. There's a lady in the waterbed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's totally probably what the article was talking about, and I just didn't read far enough.
Yeah.
Good call, man. Good call.
Hey, thanks, man. Thank you.
Let's talk about some other Easter eggs, because there are some cool ones in there.
Ooh, lay it on me, man.
Obviously, when Father Kastner takes them down into his basement of curiosities.
Right.
And Ed says, you got to burn all this. Or no, maybe Lorraine says it. But Father Kastner specifically says, I like to keep them in here. It's kind of like taking guns off the street, which is a callback to Ed Warren saying that in a previous Conjuring movie about their room of curiosities.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Good work, man.
Hey, you know what? I only caught it because it's been a while since I watched Conjuring 1 and 2. I caught it because there's an obvious look that Ed gives Lorraine when Kastner says that. And I was like, oh. And so I looked it up. I'm like, yep, that's right.
That's awesome.
I thought so.
Oh, good call.
The whole cult, like there's a story of the cult where these totems come from. And it's the disciples of Ram.
Right.
So that was established in the Annabelle movies.
Oh, dude.
But I think my favorite Easter egg was when Lorraine comes in the house. Ed is sitting there, and she comes in with a a bouquet of flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "Oh, these are from the Perrins," and the Perrins were the family from the first Conjuring movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That is cool. I love
Just the
that.
fact that they're, just the nice little warm thought that the Perrins are out there and they're still thankful
Yep.
for the Warrens for, doing
Oh,
what they did in the
that.
first movie.
Oh, I love that. That is so good. Okay. Good work, man.
Um, Shout out again to the DP, the director of photographer. Michael Burgess is the guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the movie was gorgeous looking.
For sure. Oh, man.
Another interesting thing that didn't really, it's just like a little side thing.
Mm-hmm.
They did mention that, okay, when the girl stabbed the other girl, she stabbed her 22 times.
Right.
Arnie also stabbed the guy he stabbed 22 times.
Yeah, you're right.
As far as I know, there was no other mention of the number 22, so it's another one of those things, maybe that's a callback to other Conjuring movies or something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing that really came of that, but I thought it was interesting that both murders had 22 stabs in them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that would be from, or an homage to something.
And then the music. So the music was interesting. And I'm going to tell you a story, Andrew.
Lay it on me.
One night, my lovely girlfriend and I,
Mm-hmm.
we went to eat sushi at what was then our favorite little sushi place. And we're sitting at the sushi counter.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an interesting looking individual sitting to the left of me. And it's not so much that he looked familiar, but in a way he kind of did. And I was just thinking, he's got to be somebody.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't say anything. He gets up, he finally leaves. And the sushi chef is a guy that we had talked to many times. Every time we went, he was our favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, "Hey, who was that guy sitting next to us?" And he's like, "Oh, that's Joe Bishara." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And as a movie score fan,
Mm-hmm.
I had a little starstruck freak out because Joe Bishara is the composer of the Conjuring movie scores
That's awesome.
and other movies in that universe, like the Insidious movies, the Conjuring movies. He's done so many. He's doing he's done Malignant, the movie that opened this weekend by James Wan.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's so cool.
yeah, I thought that was awesome. And he did this movie, and I knew he did the score to this movie, but what was interesting was watching the credits and seeing that they also sourced score music from other movies like The Purge.
Weird.
Which, yeah, it was weird to me because I don't know those scores well enough to have recognized that music when I heard it.
Right.
But yeah, I looked it up. I did look this up, and I couldn't find anything about why they used other score music instead of just going fully with Joe Bishara's music. But I did, as always, Joe Bishara, he does this amazing electronic mood score is what I like to call it, because it doesn't have so much of a recognizable theme except for maybe the strings at the beginning of the movie when the title comes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But yeah, he sets this mood in all these movies that is just so dark and ominous. So, yeah.
Yeah, great score for sure. But that's
Yeah, it's good. So it's a great score for me, at least. It's a great score to listen to during the movie. It's listening to the scores afterwards are not as enjoyable as some other scores.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's because it's a mood.
Right. Okay.
And
yeah.
it
that's
fits the movie, but it's not parts of it, I mean, other people probably very much disagree with me, but to me, it's not as listenable when you're just listening to the music. Although I do, Andrew. I listen to those scores.
Oh, I know, man.
You know.
Well, I know.
So, yeah, I mean, that was it. Anything else you want to add about the movie itself?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a few things.
Please.
So, I'm with you. I mean, I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are just like two of my favorite protagonists, not only in horror films, but in any film. I think the
Completely
two
agree.
of them are just fantastic. They have the best chemistry. The characters are very well written, and they act the heck out of it. So, honestly, the two of them together, I don't care if this movie, the whole thing took place, I don't know, somewhere dumb, and it was just a long, boring movie. If those two are in it, I'm happy because they can carry a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I totally agree. I think the two of them are fantastic. But there was a couple things too that I wanted to say. One, I loved the possession scene itself, where Arnie goes after the guy, and we actually see the possession, which I thought was cool, kind of a different way. Usually when we see like someone possessed, we're on the outside, so we see the person freaking out, and then we see them commit whatever they do.
Yeah.
This was fun to see it from his perspective, so we're in his mind seeing what he's seeing and why he attacks the guy, thinking the guy that he kills is like a demon or a creature or whatever, so he stabs him. So I just thought it was kind of an interesting way to see a possession from the person's point of view.
That's a great point. Because then you start to think, were the people possessed in the other films, is that what they saw? Do they see other people as demons?
Yep, exactly. So I just thought that was just kind of an interesting way to do it, and I liked that. I also love that they did the song "Call Me" during that. I just thought, that whole scene was just, I thought it was done well. I thought it was very creepy. I thought the music was fun. I don't know, just everything about it. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? However, my only gripe with that was, I get that they were living with that guy, but man, how do they know this dude? Like, this guy was kind of a creep, and like was flirting a little bit with his girlfriend. I don't know.
Wait, but was he? No, there's the thing.
That's
he wasn't
true.
really flirting with her. That's what Arnie saw because of the possession.
You're right. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But he creeped me out, man. And I was just like, how do you know this guy? Like, what?
Well, I think they worked with him.
Right. But
I mean, took care of, it was a dog kennel. So,
yeah.
And
he let him live with them, or he let them live with him, just free of charge.
Which may have been their payment. Yeah, that may have been their payment for working at the kennel. You get to live here.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. He was kind of a creepy dude.
Yeah. Which is probably, maybe it's just me too. Maybe this poor guy was probably like the nicest guy, and I'm just,
yeah, man.
I'm totally.
Why you got to be so judgmental,
Andrew? I know, I'm judging Andrew. Shame on me.
How about that morgue scene too?
I was just gonna ask you, what was your thought of the morgue scene? That was my next question.
I actually forgot to write that down, and I was remembering it as you were talking, so I was hoping you were going to mention it.
It was.
I thought that scene was great.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the whole, like, what made, I guess, the occultist reanimated the cadaver.
Right.
The big guy.
Yep.
But, so we talk about this. I hate when they do speed ramp ups with the camera where something moves really fast. We talked about that with Spiral from the Book of Saw. They did this one exactly the way I like to see it. This big guy just started running.
Yeah.
And he just started running at Lorraine. And it was up to Ed to beat him to Lorraine and get her hand disconnected. Plus, the whole, like, her holding the hand of that dead body that had been
in the water.
Oh,
and the sound it makes
good.
when she grabs it. You're just like, oh my god.
So good.
Yeah, that was a What a crazy scene.
I think that's a pretty good segue
Yeah.
to our 3 questions.
Yes. Let me ask you, man. This is
Oh,
your
you're
movie.
gonna ask me now?
This is your movie.
See, I
You
was just
picked
gonna
it.
I was gonna ask you every week, but yeah, we can do that.
Oh,
You can
all
ask
right.
me first. Go for it.
Let me ask
Hit
you,
me with
friend.
Question
well, like
number
you
1.
picked the movie. I'm gonna make you talk. All right. So,
No.
question number 1: was the movie gory?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. It was gross.
Yeah.
It had, it's a demon possession, so you have like demonic faces and more, you had the dead body who was bloated and still kind of slimy from the water,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the other cadavers, but even the stabbing, Arnie stabbing the guy 22 times, there was blood, but not
Right.
too much. It's more yeah, it was good. It was more like just what's in your head. You're thinking of the guy getting stabbed more than seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're hearing it. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because the camera pans up over the house and you just hear Arnie like stabbing the guy and
Yeah. Your imagination.
And then I
runs.
guess then you see Arnie walking down the street in a daze with blood covering his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't super gory.
I agree. No, I'm with you. The only thing I would say that maybe had a little more blood was not even much, but it was John Noble at the end. He gets cut, and
That's right. That's
so
right.
there's that. But even that, it's shadowed pretty good. So there's just
Yeah.
I'm with you. There just wasn't. I wouldn't say it's super gory. I'm with you.
Right.
I don't think it's super gory.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, question number 2: was
Ooh.
the movie scary?
Holy nut. Okay, that's a great question with this movie.
Yeah.
Because I think the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of the movie is very frightening.
Right.
If demonic possession freaks you out, then the beginning of the movie, and this is a great question because I mentioned last week that my girlfriend, the Conjuring one, scared the crap out of her.
Right.
So there was a question of whether we were going to watch this together at one point, and she kind of chickened out, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then I was curious when I watched it to, one thing that was in my head is, could she have handled it? I think she would have wanted to turn the movie off in the first 10 minutes because,
Right.
yeah, the demonic possession of the 8-year-old boy is pretty frightening.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, so I was happy that Chaves didn't resort to as many cheap jump scares as he did in La Llorona.
Mm-hmm.
But he still did. I can't say that he didn't resort to some of those.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
And they weren't all earned, I guess you could say.
I would agree.
There were some frightening moments, like the cadaver running at Lorraine. That was pretty frightening.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, once you get past the first 10 minutes, I didn't think the movie was super scary. It was dark. It was ominous. It had a lot of creepy stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that one because it's definitely got a big creep factor and a big uneasiness to it when you deal with the curses and all that. But especially compared to The Conjuring and to a lesser degree The Conjuring 2,
Mm-hmm.
definitely not as scary as those.
Agreed.
What did you think?
No, I 100% agree. Yeah, the beginning totally was freaky, but then yeah, I agree. It just it's eerie and creepy. And like I've mentioned, I think before, if I'm sitting there and if I have a blanket halfway up over my eyes because I'm not sure what's going to happen, that means I'm scared. And I don't think because this is my second time watching it, but the first time going back, I don't even think there was a moment like that, except for maybe the beginning, just because it was like the hand over the shower curtain. That was very eerie and creepy, and I was like, oh boy, we're in it now. But yeah, like you said, after that, I don't think there was a moment. I don't think I really was super scared. So yeah, I would agree.
Exactly.
It's creepy,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
eerie,
that's
but not scary.
it's the whole thing we've been talking about with this movie, is that, the first 10 minutes are classic Conjuring,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get away from that. And when they get away from it, it's not as effective a movie,
Yep.
even though, again, I still enjoyed it.
Agreed. So that means our last question:
Yeah.
did you have fun with horror?
You know what? I kind of did. There are some definite faults with the movie,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I did have fun watching it. The fact that I watched it last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and then I was able to watch it again in the middle of the week
Mm-hmm.
because I just kind of wanted it to be more embedded in my head for this podcast. I can't say that about every movie that we review.
Right.
But I was definitely okay watching it again. I will say that during that final sequence in the tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
my mind did wander the second time a lot more than the first time.
Yep.
But otherwise, I'd say, yeah, I think this is kind of this is a fun movie. I have fun with horror with this movie. Did you?
Good. I like that answer. No, I did. I did have fun with horror. The Conjuring universe is something I love. I really do love the Conjuring universe, and so having this one, which definitely isn't as strong as the first two, I still like those characters. Like I said, I still will always follow Ed and Lorraine Warren, those characters in any movie. And I think a huge part of why I had fun with horror was those two. Like I said, anything that they're in, I'm excited about, no matter what. And so, yeah, I definitely had fun with horror. It was entertaining. Again, like you said, there was faults. There were some faults in it, for sure. But I was entertained. I had fun. So, yeah, I had fun with horror.
Bonus question, Andrew.
Ooh, okay. Ruh-roh.
So since this is a part of a bigger movie universe,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to, and I'm not going to ask you to rate all the movies,
Right.
but which movies in the Conjuring universe would you put this movie above? In other words, which movies would go under this one in terms of ranking?
Oh, man. Well, so one thing, I have actually not seen La Llorona. I have not seen that.
Well, we don't have to count that one because...
Right, because it might not be in the universe.
Yeah. But the main movies.
I would maybe put this above... Oh, man. Maybe... And I think you and I are going to actually differ on a few of these.
Oh,
but
okay.
I would...
All right.
I would put this maybe above the first Annabelle. Nope, maybe not.
Just because I made that noise?
No, I was just thinking about the first Annabelle, and I went, no, there was some fun moments. I don't know, man. I would put this above The Nun.
Okay.
For sure. And maybe that's it. And that's where we're going to differ, because that might be it. What would you do?
Quick aside here. Quick aside. This is completely unrelated.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is on the couch. She's watching old episodes of The Walking Dead.
Sweet.
And she just out of nowhere just went and had her hand over her mouth. It is she's got her AirPods on, so I don't have no idea what's going on, but it's just cute to watch her.
I love it.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's the best. I love watching. That's one of my favorite things in the world is... Well, and then I'm going to go back to your question, but just bittersweet. Yeah. I love watching movies with people that love movies. Like when you and I watch movies, we have fun because we love movies. So when people do that and they really get into it and they get excited and they put their hand over their mouth or they get nervous, I'm on board because it just adds to the experience. And so I love that. I can't stand it, though, when people don't like movies. It drives me nuts when I'm watching with them because I'm like, I care about what I'm watching right now. This actually means something to me, this movie. Anyway, that's my side.
Anyway.
Okay, what about you, though, since this is part of the Conjuring universe? What would you put this above?
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
I think... so given that I still enjoyed this movie...
Right.
The only movie I think I would put under it is Annabelle Comes Home.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like The Nun a little bit more than this one.
Okay.
I think The Nun, even though it becomes, in my opinion, kind of more of an action film, like
Totally.
an action adventure movie at the end, I'm okay with that. As
Okay.
long as I know that that's what's going to happen in the movie, I wasn't that disappointed about that. And then you and I have talked about the Annabelle series,
Yep.
where I didn't see Annabelle 1. I didn't see Annabelle until after I saw Annabelle Creation.
Smart.
And I truly believe, and I will take this to the grave, I truly believe that Annabelle Creation made Annabelle a better movie.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I agree.
But we're not going to get into that.
Yep.
That's it. So we almost agree on The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Maybe not exactly where we'd place it in the ranking of Conjuring universe movies,
Right.
but I think we still pretty much overall agreed about what we thought about it.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely fun. And I would recommend it. I'll say that. It's, I recommend it.
Well, of course, I recommend every movie we watch
Of
because
course, yeah.
my motto, as always, is that there's an audience for every movie. So even if I don't care for a movie, I still recommend people watch it because they might like it where I didn't. All right, so that was our review of
Yes.
The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It,
Ooh.
which means since I picked that movie, Andrew, what are we going to watch this week?
Well, let me tell you, Scotty. Well, okay. So you and I both have a list written out. Or at least you have it written, I think, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
both do.
Yep. So we have our lists written out, and I have quite a number on there of movies I haven't seen. However, recently you and I talked, and we've had, and as you mentioned at the beginning of this, we've had some requests for movies, which is great and something I'm all about. What's fortunate is I haven't seen either of these movies, and
Okay.
one of them was on my list.
Oh, I know which one.
So you know which one. So this week's pick is 1985's The Reanimator. I have never seen this movie. It has been on my list, and hearing that we had a request for it just solidified that would be my pick.
Yes, and let's a brief shout out. This is our very first request, our official request that we're
Right.
watching,
Yeah.
and it was requested by Matt. No last names, but
Yep.
Matt, if you're out there, we're watching The Reanimator because of your request. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Matt. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this. This is gonna be great.
I'm excited too because this is one that I haven't seen in quite a while.
Right on.
And
Okay.
I cannot, there's a couple of scenes in this movie that I can't wait for you to see, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on them.
Oh, man.
Ooh, boy.
Oh no. Yeah, it was perfect timing. I was like, it's on the list. We have a request. This is the one. So I'm
Heck
really
yeah, man.
excited for it.
Me too.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Right?
And also, this is one of the movies that was featured in the In Search of Darkness documentaries.
And
So-
actually, this was why it was on my list in the first place, was because of the In Search of Darkness
Yeah. Ooh.
movie. So yeah, that's why I added it in the first place.
So that's interesting. We've been doing some more recent movies lately, and now we're going back to the 80s
Mm-hmm.
to do an older horror movie.
Yeah.
That'll
love
be
it.
fun, man.
It will
gonna
be fun. I know. So I'm excited.
All right.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts too.
Oh, I'll tell you my thoughts. But I'm going to watch it again.
Good. Yes. Okay. So, all right, we're on board then. 1985's The Reanimator.
Ooh. Oh, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped about it.
Me too.
Again, thank you, Matt, for the request. And everybody else, we're on Facebook. We have an email address, funwithhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to write in with any comments and requests. If you're on the Facebook page, we'll probably make a post at some point that asks for requests.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially since we have our new rule about requests.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're on Twitter. We're on Spotify. We're everywhere now.
We are. You can't. Honestly, you throw a stick, you're gonna hit something that we're on.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun with horror.
You're gonna
If you
have
throw
fun
a stick.
with horror.
A fun with horror stick.
Yep. Now sold.
Man, that's got to be our first piece of merchandise, right?
I think so. If we don't, honestly, I'll probably quit the podcast.
Okay. Goodbye.
Well, see ya.
See, Andrew, it was a good time. 6 episodes. We really made it.
Put a dent. We put a dent in this world, my man.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Time to wrap it up.
Yep.
This was fun.
Always.
As always.
As always. Thank you to you, and thank you to everyone who's been listening. Honestly, just hearing from you and seeing that you have been listening has been awesome. It means a lot, and we really appreciate it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I'll talk to you later, Andrew.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Bye, buddy. Bye, everyone.
I'll tell you what. You come over to our house for dinner. We'll show you the evidence we've collected over the years. Introduce you to Annabelle. If you're not convinced, we'll butt out.